him just doing
It
this right
looks
here.
good.
Oh my
Huh.
gosh, it's after the fall he had. It's a miracle. It's nothing short of a miracle.
I think he stomachs a lot of pain.
He does, but just to be up and walking from injury like that, it's a miracle. So yeah. He says he still has pain in his hands and feet and some numbness and stuff, but I would take that over being, over death or even being paraplegic.
Oh gosh.
It was about this time of year, wasn't it? Wasn't it 4th of July?
4th of July.
That's what I was thinking.
He was. They had just literally got done. I think it was the next day. It was on the 4th of July
Weekend,
break
yeah.
that we do. So they shot fireworks the night before, and I think he said there's something hanging up on his house. So he gets a ladder, to reach over and grab it, and that's when he. So I think Ann's gonna bust his little tail if he ever gets on the ladder again.
The last time I was getting on a ladder, I thought of him and got off.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh man, you got.
What the professionals do.
That's right. Ladders frighten me. I've heard of too many accidents. I mean, I don't mind going up on myself, but I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Isn't that terrible?
Well, I do it myself too, and I adhere to the. You don't step on the top rung. I've always got to have something. Like if I lean forward, then I've got to have something. But, oh yeah, there it is. There's a ladder.
My mom she'll be 85 in August, and it kills her that I won't let her get on the steps. And I'm like, no, you don't need to. And then she's like, well, what about those little tiny ones? I just have to step up. I'm like, no. No.
Oh yeah, those are dangerous.
Absolutely not.
You heard from any? Well, I don't mean to change the subject. You heard from any campaigns?
Constantly.
Are they all going to come today?
I don't know. Don tried to discourage them because there's really nothing to see. Really nothing to see. And the state, will probably have the upload before we got it. Because, we can't, print stuff off and hand it to people because we're required by law to remove the withdrawn candidates.
You got it.
So we can't hand anybody anything until Sandra gets that all done.
There's a fellow with the blue shirt and the lady with the mask and the guy sitting at the table. That's what's up there right now.
Well, we're still going to announce.
Yeah, yeah, but it's not like we can hand anything out right away.
I'm sorry? Yes. Okay.
You're welcome to get comfy if you'd like.
Huh?
You're welcome to get comfy if you'd like.
Oh, just hanging out for right now. I was trying to think the last time I was here with you guys on election day was.
It's been a while. I think, were you only here one time on election day?
I was only here one time on election day. I'm trying to think what election that was.
That's for one of our board members. We need it over here. Thank you.
Find a spot as best you can.
I remember
Good morning.
It might have been, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago.
I think it was too. It's been a while.
All right. They're going to ask me, so how many memory cards were from the warehouse?
29.
Exactly 29.
29 from the warehouse.
4 from Kroger Field.
5.
5. We ended up opening one? Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
We had a jail. And then 2 from the senior center.
Correct.
Right. And the only thing on our agenda is this count, and then go sign paperwork, right?
Correct.
Okay. Have you explained to these guys what's about to happen?
I have not.
Okay. So you guys, this is going to be the most boring morning of your life, I hope. It went well. What we're going to do, the little white boxes here are they're called D drives for the particular machines that we're using. By the way, this is our first use for our brand new machines. Not exactly what we meant to hope for, but this is our first time We've got a young man from our vendor to help us with the final tally because we've never done this before. We want to make sure it goes well. So what we're going to do is take each one of these memory cards and put it into the machine, pull the results off that particular memory card one at a time, rinse and repeat until we're done. There are 29 memory cards in the warehouse where we were doing this. There are 5 from the further field. We had 4 machines active, one of them came, put in the spares, so we had 5. And then for all the days prior to election day, separate machines for election day were required to do that way for some reason. And then once we're done,
Good morning, good morning.
Sergeant Grissom on the right is
I can
going
do this right here, but now.
to extract the results. This machine has never, ever been to the internet, ever. So we have to extract the results off the machine. She has to run down the hallway, put it into her computer, and we'll upload the results to the laptop.
Brand new one for today.
Really, today,
I'm not gonna go in there until y'all tell me to.
That's the only thing on our agenda. After they're done, the board will need to walk down the hall. We'll sign a bunch of forms, just kind of perfunctory, nothing to see there. And then finally it's over. So,
Don, we are live.
thank you.
Whenever you're ready.
All right. I don't think it's quite 9. Oh,
Surgery this morning.
introductions. I'm Don Blevins, the Fayette County Clerk. This is Sheriff Kathy Witt. This is Dan Miller. He's our Republican Commissioner. Our Democrat Commissioner has a situation this morning. She may join us. We're not sure. Her name is Marilyn Dishman. Kathy Witt has texted me.
And Don, also that mic on the table is hot.
Thank you.
Yeah, everybody can hear everything over there. Just want
Got you.
folks aware.
Better watch my comments.
Gotta wait 3 minutes.
That's fine. Y'all just tell me when.
Oh, and afterwards, I'll be happy to do interviews if anybody wants.
Yes.
I just want to see. That's what memory drive looks like. It looks like a little USB. Sorry.
Look, here's to make it easier next time. There was a jump like along with a cable. USB. Or not USB, yeah.
Each machine has.
It looks like a USB extension. So, I mean, it's about like, you know, like how you could hold your car right here.
Just to make sure.
Huh? That's fine.
These aren't normal.
Just, you know,
phone
next
machines.
time for when you're.
They've got security.
Because I'm always just
Trust the stations
They
and
just put out on the street.
this work,
Twenty votes separate.
where that poured out. Especially,
I think when Jefferson County comes in.
beach right here, you don't have, you know, where these ports out, so.
The computer
It's better to wear that cable out and you just get a
only
new cable
dedicated to this.
as opposed to.
Nothing else.
That's funny, we were talking about that yesterday. Somebody asked me, is there something like the card reader that, you know, is
Yeah.
different?
What
So,
was it?
So yeah, it's just a,
These are our new thumb drives.
it's just a USB port, that's your reader now.
okay.
Yeah, those old tapes look like they're from the early 90s, didn't
Yeah, they were pretty rough
they?
looking.
Maybe the 80s.
Is Keith joining us, Tracy? Do you know? I assume not. He would have been here by now. Okay. All right, it's 9 o'clock. Tuesday, June 30th, I call the Fayette County Board of Elections to order. We have a quorum, so we'll get started. The only thing on our agenda today is to do the final tally. If you guys are ready, we'll tell them to go. Have at it.
password.
Mhm.
Okay, so you want the for this, yeah.
Feels like we should have like game commentary, right?
Should have binoculars now.
When they're completed, we won't be able to give you guys printed results for quite a while. We have to redact the races where someone withdrew. The fastest way everybody in the community is going to find out about the results is with elect.ky.gov. But if those of you that want printed results, just hang out for a little while, we'll get them to you eventually.
You want to announce by voice?
I guess we could. It'd be faster. I want her to get that on the web. The Booker campaign and McGrath campaign, bless their hearts, are on pins and needles.
Oh, yeah.
So it's, and there's a couple of council races locally that people are very excited about.
Yeah, that's what was announced across the stage. 20 vote difference between Booker and
Yeah, but that was this much results, so it's.
those were the rural counties.
Are you free in the afternoon if we aren't able to get the paperwork together to come back and sign some stuff if you had to?
Yeah, I've got some windows, I think.
Okay, good. I think we'll be okay, but we have to turn everything in by 6.
Yeah, 1 o'clock to about 5. I'm
Yeah,
flexible.
we're good.
And Maryland ought to be free by then too.
Well, I hope. Remember, she's
Surgery.
so we'll see. I think she was being optimistic.
Step out, make a phone call.
Okay. Yeah, she just called. She's not gonna make it.
Oh, no, that's okay. I just need some ice water.
Are they on like number 6 or?
No, I'm not sure, to be honest. Have you already done Carter Field and the senior center, Tracy?
Yes, we did those first.
That's what I thought. We're just grinding through the 29 from the warehouse. Just 3 or 4 more.
Huh?
Yeah, we're down to about 3.
Okay, there you go.
9:15.
Two more left. Accuser.
These ballots, you can't really do write-ins, can
Oh, yeah, you can. There just weren't any write-ins filed for the primary.
you? But I mean, the goofy ones you can.
Well, you can do it, but it won't affect us as much as it used to.
Good. Oh, some of them are phony.
Yeah.
What's only going to show one polling place. Need you want public count? You want public count?
Sure, yes, that's what
It's here somewhere.
Just hang out for a minute and I'll get you out of here in a second.
Come on.
Don't you have a secret message?
Even though like it's 1-0.
I close my eyes and click my heels 3 times and she appears. It's great.
I figured CNN was on the phone.
Just like the Week of Adventures.
Normally, we've already got you set up to. I can export that too if you want.
No, that's okay.
Did I give you that?
Wall Street Journal.
Yes.
And then, he was mentioned at, I think I told you, he was mentioned at Wall Street Journal.
So, are these,
Sort of have to keep that.
the redacted results?
Yes.
Can Diane make copies when you get done here, so I can read them to you guys while you're doing your thing?
Sandra, she's eating. I don't know if you have the lid in here.
Oh, she can make copies of the results. Okay, so we're done with the scan of the memory devices. Sandra is heading down the hall to upload to elect.ky.gov. Please be patient, it's the first time we've ever done it. The format of the file may be slightly different or something like that. It might take a minute, but she's on her way to do that. I have my secretary going to get us copies of the unredacted results so I can read them to you while we wait for Sandra to upload. I'll be happy to do that. I know the McGrath and Booker campaigns are probably dying to hear what's going on. So as soon as we get them, I'll read them to you. And you want us to come down to your place to sign stuff here in a minute?
You can, or it'll take me a few minutes to get it all transferred onto the certification.
Right. Marilyn called me and is not going to be available this morning. I may have to just run them out there to her house and get her to sign. I assume you guys want copies of the redacted results. See you in a minute. This system is a little slower than our other one in terms of reading. They were a lot faster. What? Okay, quick formality. We're adjourned. We'll need to sign some stuff before you all get out of here, okay? But hang out as long as you like. All right, now for what everybody's been waiting for. Let's see. Okay, so Donald Trump was the only candidate other than uncommitted in the presidential race for the Republican primary. He had 17,417 votes. Uncommitted was 6,669. For United States Senator in the Republican Party, Mitch McConnell, 17,907. Kenneth Lowndes, 668. C. Wesley Morgan, 1,591. Nicholas Alsager, 205. John Paul Frangedakis, 1,078. Louis Grider, 744. Naren James, 1,085. For U.S. House in the Republican Party, Andy Barr, 21,247. Chuck Eddy, 1,662. And Jeff Young, 1,182. For State Representative, 39th Representative District, Jay Corman, 336. Matt Lockett, 365. State Representative 88, Aaron Yates, 4,545. And then Montea Monday, 1,466. For President in the Democratic Party, Pete Buttigieg, 932. Joe Biden, 39,153. Tom Steyer, 117. Tulsi Gabbard, 432. Michael Bennett, 85. Amy Klobuchar, 391. Bernie Sanders, 8,302. Deval Patrick, 59. Andrew Yang, 742. Elizabeth Warren, 2,188. And then uncommitted was 2,140. U.S. Senator Amy McGrath, 24,005. Eric Rothmuller, 249. John Sharpenstein, 86. Benny Smith, 241. Marianne Tobin, 375. Jimmy Osbrooks, 54. Charles Booker, 27,520. Mike Breuer, 2,049. Maggie Jo Hilliard, 214. Andrew Maynard, 201. And U.S. Congress, 6th District, Democrats, Josh Hicks, 36,990. Daniel Kemp, 13,375. State Rep in the 45th District, Shirley Mitchell, 5,576. Corey Nichols, 1,610. Sean Mike Picard, 847. State Rep 56th, we had a withdrawal, so these are the only two remaining. Lamar Allen, 1,254. Bob Gibson, 254. Herman County Council District 3, Jessica Moeller, 1,296. Charles Smith, 494. Christine Stanley, 1,103. Hannah Legree, 1,270. And finally, Urban County Council District 9, Whitney Baxter, 2,251. Willie Fogel, 2,482. Colby Kosreza, 2,003. And Jacob Glancy, 1,324. And that's it. All right. I'm happy to do interviews, you guys, if you like. Y'all are going to have to coach me. Do you want me to sit here where the mics are? Does that work?
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right, fire away.
Now that it's finished, just kind of your summary of how the whole process went with the absentee voting and all the changes this year.
Well, wow. This brings to a close quite the ordeal, at least temporarily, for myself and my office. I can't, everybody keeps using the word unprecedented, and that seems like it falls short of what really has just happened. For the last since March, we've been under lockdown here at the office. I couldn't afford to open the doors to the public because if we had a 2-week quarantine period, this election would have never been able to be pulled off. On top of COVID and doing our normal work here, we had an unprecedented election to conduct with only 6 weeks to both plan it and pull it off. I'll say this as a precursor because I know you're going to ask about November. We absolutely cannot do that again in November. We must have far more warning and more planning time. So how did it go? Unbelievably well. When we first started, I was more concerned, believe it or not, by the mail-in ballots and the volume we were going to get. I was worried that the signature matching process would be really too slow and would cause us problems in processing the ballots. I was least worried about voting in person. By the end, as you all now know, those flipped. We were very capable of handling the volume of mail-in ballots, much more so than I had thought. We were able to process somewhere around 7,500 to 10,000 ballots in processing, and then out at the warehouse we would have been easily able to process that and more. So the processes for mail-in ballots went very well. Keep in mind though, in November we will easily double what we just did, and that's going to be a little bit more of a challenge. So all in all, I think everything went about as well as it could go under the circumstances. I still am disappointed by our lines at Kroger Field. We did not expect the number of voters who had issues. That's ended up being the problem. We were able to check in most voters that were ready and were qualified to vote and so forth. We got those folks in about 30 seconds as planned. The problem was we had 2 classes of voters that we didn't expect. The first class was people that had already requested a mail-in absentee ballot, showed up at Kroger Field for a variety of reasons. Some of them had even already voted and their vote had been counted here. Some of those people showed up at Kroger Field. So all of those folks were accommodated appropriately depending on their situation, but every time I say this, you need to think 1 to 2 minutes or more to accommodate these kinds of voters, and that very quickly causes timing issues in the lines. The second type of voter we had a challenge with was independents. Just so happens that this particular primary, there were very few precincts where independents had nonpartisan races where they could vote. As you know, we have a closed primary in Kentucky, so independents can only vote for nonpartisan races in the primary. As a result, most of the independents that showed up at Kroger Field had nothing to vote for. Many did not understand that, had to be explained, perhaps even argued with the election officers about where they were registered. A lot of folks will register to vote 10 years ago and have long forgotten what they registered as. So those conversations were taken several minutes as well. We even had one man yell at election officers for 10 straight minutes holding up that line until the UK police removed him. So those are the kinds of issues that I hope we can come up with some solutions in the fall. Obviously, the independent voters won't be an issue in the fall. We'll need to do a lot better job educating voters about the mail-in process. One of the challenges we had for mail-in in particular was that the communication back to the voter was limited in terms of, has your ballot been received here? Has it been counted? Those kinds of things, I think, would have put to rest a lot of people's concerns. But that said, we did it, and I'm really proud of Kentucky. I'm proud of Lexington even more so. Lexington is a model for the nation in how we've handled COVID. We're a model for the nation in how we're handling the Black Lives Matters situation, and we're now a leader in the nation for how to do elections under COVID circumstances. Very proud of us. 92,000 ballots were requested, about 83,000 came back. That's all just shy of a 90% return rate. Incredible. So Lexington did what we asked them to do and stayed home and voted like we wanted, and I think we've prevented what could have been a disastrous spike in cases had we all voted in person. How's that?
Do you have a number for how many mail-in ballots got rejected for some signature reasons or anything?
I don't have that in front of me. The question is, how many did we reject for signature reasons? I can't answer that one. We rejected 0 for signature reasons, meaning that their signature didn't match what we had on file. We had, I'd have to guess, maybe 30 votes or more. It was in that ballpark where we had to call the voters and just verify, is this really you, and so forth. And all of those worked out fine. So we didn't reject anybody for a mismatch. What we did reject for, however, by law, if you don't sign the inner or the outer envelope, we cannot accept your ballot. And there were, as always, quite a few people who made that mistake.
It's a week past Election Day, and today we're getting the results. Can you walk us through the reasoning why you wanted to hold off on releasing any results that you've had up until this point?
Sure. So on Election Day and the day after, we received 10,000 ballots in the mail. That's the short answer. When you get 20,000 ballots in 2 days, it's going to take you a few days to get through them. So after that, though, the volume unexpectedly dropped off very quickly. I kind of expected a denouement or something, but it was more of a drop. So we were through them pretty well, and then by the emergency regulation, we have to allow through the 29th for straggler ballots to come in. So we really couldn't do anything until yesterday in terms of finalizing all the count. We did get some ballots in on Saturday that were indeed postmarked by the 23rd, so they were able to be counted. We do have a few that came in with postmarks of the 24th and so on that we couldn't accept. So yesterday morning, we wrapped up the counts, pulled the memory drives that you saw here a second ago from the machines and brought them out here. So yesterday was the first day we could finish the count. I've always said today at 9 so that we would be predictable to the public as to when we would do our final count. I also don't feel like releasing interim results is a good idea. In fact, some of the out-of-state press in particular were reporting results on some of the races with crazy percentages like 70% reporting. Well, that's completely misleading and created a lot of confusion in the public. So myself and many of the other county clerks felt like we're just going to wait and on the 30th do it all at once. So today, during the day, will be very similar to what we would normally do on election night. And we'll see all together across the state as results roll in to elect.ky.gov. It'll be just like an election night as they roll in. I happen to know that some of the clerks are doing more or less what we did. They're reporting their results this morning. There are a handful that I'm aware of that won't be able to do it until this afternoon. So sorry to the McGrath and, God, I'm blanking. Booker campaign. Sorry, I know you all are on pins and needles, but it's going to drag out probably all day.
Just got a request that maybe you could read the McGrath Booker totals again. So.
Oh, sure. Let me find it. Okay, so United States Senator for the Democratic Party, Amy McGrath, 24,005. Eric Rothmuller, 249. John Sharpenstein, 86. Benny Smith, 241. Marianne Tobin, 375. Jimmy Ausbrooks, 54. Charles Booker, 27,520. Mike Breuer, 2,049, Maggie Jo Hilliard, 214, and then Andrew Maynard, 201.
With the absentee ballots, did most of them come in after Election Day?
Well, sort of. So we were told by our friends in Colorado that do this all the time to expect anywhere from 25 to 40% of our ballots to come back on Election Day or shortly thereafter. So that's what we planned for, and it's part of the reason why we've taken a week. That's why the State Board of Elections gave us all a week to finish counting. But it's also a time period to allow ballots to come in via the mail because, as we all know, the mail can sometimes be delayed. So what happened to us, though, was what's 20,000 into 83? It's about a quarter. So we had right at 25% show up on Election Day and the day after.
Now, for the thumb drive, was there a thumb drive that was inserted in the machine that was reading those absentee ballots?
So the absentee ballots are, all paper ballots are fed into a scanner. The scanners are really powerful. You can insert the page any way you want and it'll read them. the results, the ballot is counted, and whatever you voted for, so to speak, will go on into the machine memory. It goes onto 2 separate V drives for redundancy. That way, if the machine goes down, we have 3 different ways to pull the count out of it. Out at the warehouse, it took 29 machines total to process all the ballots. Beneath the scanner is a tub where the ballot drops into, and that's where we secure them until after the election, and they will be secured for the next 30 days by law. So 29 machines out there. Similar thing at Kroger Field, we had 4 machines. We actually had 6 out there just in case. One of the machines jammed along the way, so we very quickly took it out of service and put a new one in. So a total of 5 machines out there, and then 2 machines out at the senior center. All right, looks like you guys are out. So thanks for coming. I'm glad it was super boring. That was what I was hoping for. It's the best possible outcome. Sure. Let me just